Hey, what's up guys, Madar Truga Development Reviews Edition. In this video, I'm reviewing my table saw, the Kobalt 10-inch table saw. This is an honest review. I've had this table, I don't know, at least, I want to say about 5 years. So let me tell you the pros and cons and whether you should buy one of these or not. All right guys, here's the information on this. This is a 10-inch table saw. And the model is KT1015. You can see that right there. Right off the bat, the best thing I like about this is the portability of it. So it's pretty easy. You'll have to put it together once you get it. There's a couple of videos online on how to do that, but anyways, you can spend about, I think if I remember correctly, it took me about, I want to say 2 to 3 hours, I think, to put this together. Fairly simple to collapse this thing. All you got to do is grab hold of the handles, and then you got this little locking mechanism here. Just push this down, and then the whole thing, you know, kind of collapses. All right. I'm not going to do that now because I'm using my other hand to hold the camera. So to me, that's a huge positive. Number two is the price point. This thing was less than $300. It goes up to 45. So if you're cutting out an angle, you can do that. Honestly, I don't use this feature quite a bit, but when I do, it's quite handy. To bring up the blade, you just go clockwise with this guy, and you can see your blade come up. Mine is a little bit rusty, man. Needs some oiling. So there you go. If you wanted to do a 45, there's a lock right here, a lock lever. You just push it this way, and then, hard to do this in one hand, but you push this over, and now you have your angle. Here's your cleat. I took that out. It doesn't recommend that you take it out, so use that as at your own risk. You get the branch with it here, and it's a nice place to store them. So that's if you're switching out your blade. Obviously comes with the fence and your push bar, and I like that it has its own storage area here. To move the fence, you got to unclip this part here and unclip it in the back, and then just move it where you want it to go. You do have a ruler here that goes up to 13. If you're going beyond 13, once you set up your fence at the 13 mark, you come down here and there's a locking mechanism or a locking lever. So you unlock it, and now you can extend your table. It extends all the way up to 30. So you can do a bigger piece here. Now obviously that piece is going to have to sit right there. It comes with a typical, I guess 1/8 or 1/4 inch clearance plate. That's what it looks like underneath here. So if you wanted to remove the blade, you have a nut right here that you can unscrew and switch the blades out. That's pretty easy. There are screws up here to adjust. You use those to adjust this plate up or down to make sure it's flush. It comes with this push guide. I went ahead and attached a piece of wood to it, so it's easier for me to push in and out. But you simply just gonna get this piece right here, and you can adjust it obviously up to 30 degrees on either side, so if you're doing an angled cut. This is it, guys. It's pretty basic. Now on to the things that I really hate about this table. Number one, it is somewhat unstable. So if you're doing a big piece on this, let's say a half a piece of plywood, a 4x4, expect that this table is going to wiggle and move around on you a little bit. Okay, you can see this is just a little bit of movement on there. So just be careful with that. Number two, what I really can't stand about this is that you can't, if you have this in the unlocked position, and if you're just trying to move the fence in and out with one hand, it's very difficult because sometimes it will get stuck right here. See? Right? And now it's all off square. So it's very difficult to have this fence squared. You'd have to make sure that you use both hands, put it down, lock it in one spot, and then make sure that this is square, which almost is never square. So what you're gonna have to do is measure from your blade to the fence and make sure that that measurement equals to this area as well. So from the beginning of the blade to the fence, and again from the end of the blade to the fence, to ensure that your cut is going to be straight. So to me, this is a huge issue, and it takes a lot of time every time having to measure this. Number 3 is a combination of two things. One, the wheel, the turning wheel here, is not as easy to work with bringing the blade up. So see, this is really smooth bringing the blade down. Now, if I want to get this up, I'm using a lot of force, and here it's almost stuck, right? Bringing it up. Now, okay, I cleaned it, I cleaned the mechanism, I cleaned everything out. This is still the issue. This tells me that the bearings are probably not the best quality. And number 2 is this guy right here. Sometimes it's very difficult to bring this thing in and out, and I don't know if you can see it here or not, it's not straight. It goes out this way. Not a big deal, but again, just speaks to the overall quality of the machine. Now, with that said, would I still buy this table? I'm gonna say yes, depending on what I'm using it for. If you're planning to do furniture pieces and really precise cuts, just be a little careful with this table. Because of the fence situation, I would say that's the biggest issue, because you want to make sure that those cuts are precise to the 1/16th, even 1/32s of cuts. This table might not be it. I use this predominantly on construction sites, and that is perfectly fine there, because these cuts are a little bit more forgiving. Also, if you're starting out, this is a really good price point to go with. And if you plan on having more than one table saw, like I do, this is my portable one. I have another DeWalt table saw that I use in my shop, and that's more stationary, and the fence is a lot more easier to work with, and it's a lot more stable in general. There you go, guys. I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel to support it. I'll see you guys on the next one.